I'm general manager of my leadership's mock interview experience. The purpose of these interviews are to help our fellow peers reach their full potential when and during an interview. As interviewers, we've learned how to respond accurately and how to construct an interview itself. Please look forward to all of the criticism, for it will prepare you for a nearby future interview.
Hello, Spencer. Thank you for coming in today for your interview for our ice cream shop. I'm going to start us off with question 1. Why would you want to work at our company?
Well, I've loved ice cream my whole life. I love people interactions, and I feel like I can see a lot of people at an ice cream shop.
All right. How would you describe your people skills?
I feel like I can interact with people of all ages, little kids and older people, so I feel like it's just a right fit for me.
Love that. Now, how would you deal with confrontation in general?
Well, there's confrontation in all parts of life, with family, with other people. I feel like in the experience I've had in the past with especially children, I can, with them confronting me about their problems and stuff like that, I can deal with it.
Going off of your experiences, what would your greatest strengths be?
My greatest strengths would be my probably work ethic and my people skills. I'm very personable. I feel open, and I feel like people aren't intimidated to talk to me often. And I usually get the job done, whatever it is.
With that, what about your weaknesses?
Sometimes I can procrastinate a little bit. I try to mitigate that, but it just happens sometimes.
Okay. We all go through it. Now, have you ever worked in an ice cream shop or food management service before? If so, please tell us about it.
No, I haven't worked in any food service or management. No, not quite. I've done other forms of work, but nothing of that sorts.
Okay. What would you consider yourself a leader?
I think I would. I'm a captain on 2 sports, so I've led groups of people in sports and other service projects as well, and I feel like I can translate that to ice cream scooping.
That's really great.
Very true. Okay. What would be your plan of action if an entire team came to the window to order at once?
I would try to probably line them up, find who's in charge of the group, maybe, to get it all settled in an orderly fashion and make sure everybody gets their ice cream on time.
Awesome. If you could describe your personality as an ice cream flavor, what would it be and why?
Tricky one here.
Oh, yeah. Probably chocolate ice cream. I know it sounds pretty plain, but it's not as plain as...
Sounds vanilla?
It's not like vanilla is what I was going to say. It's just a little bit bolder and a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like that's me.
Bolder and better, okay. Now, do you have any questions for our shop?
I think nothing too major. Maybe, like, how much money do you think I would possibly be making?
Okay. I'm not going to tell you that yet, but you will find out if you get the job. Okay. Now, we are going to go into the analyzing of this interview. So, for your first question, I think it was really good that you mentioned that you have people skills, because obviously working in an ice cream shop, you need to work with people. But I would have talked a little bit more about the specifics of why you want to work at an ice cream shop, not just work in general. Maybe you can make that question a little bit more pointed.
Understood.
Now, question 2. When you talked about your people skills in general, I like that you mentioned the ages, because again, at an ice cream shop, you're going to have people come in at all different ages. But you could also give scenarios there of times you've had good people skills. Maybe talk about something you overcame in school or at a club or in a sport. Basically, tell us a situation where you feel that your people skills were really honed in on.
Gotcha.
Now, when we asked you how you deal with confrontation, to me it didn't really make any sense. So I thought you were kind of blabbing a little bit, because I think you were trying to work around the question in a way. because you don't want to say anything wrong, because that is a difficult question, because you don't want to be like, I'm a hothead, or I get angry easily. And you did like have a little bit of nervous laughter, which is totally normal to have in an interview, but I think you did a good job of working through that like body image of like the laughing. Now when you talked about your greatest strengths and weaknesses, I think you did well with your strengths of saying like your work ethic, because we don't want a lazy person in the shop. But with your weaknesses, I would say how you could get past them, because when you say a weakness, you don't want to just be like, oh, I procrastinate, then be like, then why do I want you? Right. So you want to be like, okay, I procrastinate, but I'm working through this by doing this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, when you were talking about have you ever worked in the shop and food management, I think it was great that you were honest and just said no, because you don't want to lie, like hello. But I think you could also mention why you would want to work instead of just being like no and ending it, kind of just similar to the first question. When you were talking about considering yourself a leader, I think that's great, and talked about having been a captain. Again, that's another good quality to have, because it shows that you're trustworthy. Okay, so when you asked about, when I asked about if the entire team would come to the window, you would say like, find out who's in charge and line them up, which I totally understand, like if they were kids, but if they were teenagers, that wouldn't be like going to a friend and be like, yo, who's the top dog? No. So what we would want to do is go to like the rest of the shop and be like, hey guys, just wanted to let you know that we have a really big order coming in, and you want to make that answer a little bit more inclusive instead of being like I, and I, just because if you have a whole team coming in, you want to have your shop act like a team.
Yeah, I understand.
And I mean, you answered the ice cream flavor question pretty well. I like chocolate too, so good answer there. And the questions, you don't really want to ask about money, because that's almost like you don't really care about anything else besides, getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, we all like money, but I feel like that's something you could possibly wait for till after. Maybe you could ask about if you go in shifts of 2, how many people are working in the shop at once. You could ask more questions about like hours, if you have any training that you're going to have to do, stuff like that.
So your body language, through your questions, you were very comfortable. You looked calm and friendly, which was good. Mm-hmm. There were times where you like crossed your arms, so that could be seen as like not calm. Yeah. But other than that, like, I think you worked well with all that. You had very strong eye contact, which is necessary.
And not like creepy eye contact, like it was like
yeah.
good. And you also didn't stutter a lot, which is another thing that a lot of people do. Again, that's something normal that people are going to have during interviews, but maybe just making it, I don't know, as comfortable as you can.
Yeah, I think you did good.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. And folks, that is it for our mock interview. Have a great day.